Right. So, you know what they say. Men are broke. They're lazy. They love to game. They're in their mother's basement, and it's all their fault. What if I told you they're obviously not telling the full story? Like, we know this, right? Men are applying. Men are grinding. They're building, but they just keep getting passed over. In today's world, literally, being a straight man basically is a disadvantage. No matter which way you look at it, you can't deny it. It's a fact. You don't get love. You don't get respect. You don't get anything. You can't even get a career half of the time. Today, we're going to see examples of literally the mainstream media making fun of men, putting them down even more, and spreading obvious misinformation. Today, we're going to be reacting to Shoeonhead's Male Loser Epidemic. So I'm excited for this one. Obviously, I can relate to this one, and let's get into it.
Friends, sorry I've been gone for quite a bit. Hopefully nothing too crazy happened. I feel like every time I take a break, like a war breaks out or something, but thankfully that did not happen. But at least
I was about to say, depending how long she was gone, it basically happened. A couple of them.
we found out the real Epstein files were the friends we made along the way.
Oh, Epstein. Yo, if you guys didn't watch my video on that, go watch my video on that. It's on my YouTube channel. It was uploaded this week.
Welcome back to the Shoeonhead channel. If it is your first time here, run. I am Shoeonhead, and on this channel I like to cover cultural issues mostly surrounding men's issues. It's what I've been doing for over a decade, and frankly, I'm exhausted. Many of you have been along for the ride, and you have seen me go from a chipper, lively 24-year-old making fun of BuzzFeed and Tumblr feminists to a bitter, calloused 34-year-old.
34? What? Bro. What? Nah, go back. Hold on, real quick. This is her, 24, 34. Dude, what? I'm trying to get those genetics. Pause, chat, chill.
I have been covering
Married,
in great
married,
detail
married,
lately
chill,
has
chat.
been the male loneliness epidemic. Yeah, but turns out I was wrong. We don't have a male loneliness epidemic. We have a male loser epidemic. It's not a male loneliness epidemic. No, it's a male mediocrity epidemic. It's a male loser epidemic.
The male loser epidemic has gotten so bad that it's honestly so pathetic at this point.
You know what I really hate? Like, can we go back? Can we go back real quick?
It's a male mediocrity epidemic. It's a male loser epidemic.
The male loser epidemic has got.
Dude, I hate girls that make these videos, bro. Like, just like this. Exactly like this. It's always the same thing. They talk shit while they're like doing their facial or whatever they call their treatment. Dude, I hate that. They all do the same shit, dude. It's so annoying.
So bad that it's honestly so pathetic at this point.
Now, I don't always talk about men's issues. No, sometimes I talk about politics, and sometimes I mix the two together. Now, I know a lot of you don't like politics. You don't care about politics. But politics cares about you, and it will enter your
True.
life no matter how hard you try to avoid it. But thankfully,
True.
I have the perfect app to help you navigate this difficult, confusing political landscape. So let's quickly give a shout out to today's sponsor, Ground News, before we...
Bro, Ground News is every person I watch sponsored by Ground News. Like, can I get a sponsorship too at this point? Damn. But no, seriously, I think Ground News might be good, man. A lot of the people I watch are sponsored by it, and they always want you to download it. So I don't know. It might be good for, like, if you're interested in news and all that. It might be a good run.
We get into this video, shall we? Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers a fun and transparent way to read the news from all across the political spectrum, from left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of the political bias, ownership, and headlines that helps you understand the full story and make sure you're getting both sides. One of my favorite features from Ground News has to be the blind spot feature, which shows you news stories that have been covered by only one side of the political spectrum and ignored by the other.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty dope.
For example, here is a story about how the CIA uncovered a Russiagate fraud, and right away we can see how it has been covered by 41 sources, and out of those 41 sources, 93% of them lean right, with only 2 left-wing outlets reporting the story. Ground News also makes it really easy to compare headlines to see just how political bias can affect the framing of a story. For example, this story about Zohran Mamdani winning the Democratic primary in New York. This left-leaning outlet says Zohran Mamdani's win just got a little sweeter. And meanwhile, the right-wing outlet says, meet Zohran Mamdani, the man who will ruin New York. As you can see, Very different vibes. I have been using Ground News since 2021 because I think it is so informative, so fun, and it helps me see how different stories are framed so differently, and I love it. I highly recommend it. It's one of the few apps that I wake up and just immediately check. But don't just take my word for it. Even the Nobel Peace Center called it an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. High praise. Best of all, I am currently offering 40% off their Vantage plan, which is the plan I use to access all of their amazing features. This comes out to only like $5 a month, which is like the price of a coffee. So go to ground.news/shoe or use the QR code right there on screen, or the link.
Wait, let me move my camera. You guys could scan that if you're interested. And we're going back. Boop.
In the video description down there to subscribe to Ground News today. I feel like what they're doing is really important, especially right now, and it helps us approach the news in a more fair and balanced way. So thank you to Ground News for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad.
Of course. Nah,
Right.
We never skip the ad.
Now,
we never
let's
skip
get
ads.
back to the
We
video.
never skip ads, guys.
With all these
We don't do
issues
that.
men are facing, they seem to be moving to the right and the Republicans more, since the left and Democrats have essentially just become the young men eat and die movement. Months ago, I
Oh
covered how
my
the Democratic
god,
Party
that's a
was losing
fact,
young
bro.
men.
Dude, tell me how that's a fact, bro.
And I predicted Kamala Harris would lose in part because of young men overwhelmingly voting for Trump. And I was correct. Well, now the Democrats have unveiled their final solution to the right-wing male loser epidemic. Democrats spending millions to learn how to speak to American men and win back the working class.
Bro, what do you have to spend money on? What is so hard about talking to American men? You know how you talk to American men? You tell them, hey, we're going to give you jobs. Hey, you don't have to be, gay. You don't have to be trans for us to accept you. You're not automatically the worst people in the world, off a Spawn. Like, what? It can't be that hard, brother. It can't be that hard. Just give us some, bro. Literally, men are so simple. Give us a job, give us a purpose, give us some money. And the other part is. I won't say that, but you know how it is.
Democrats have blown millions of dollars on efforts to appeal to American men who turned to President Donald Trump in droves on Election Day in hopes of winning back the working class. Democrats have spent $20 million on their efforts with donors and strategists.
$20 million on how to talk to young men? Dude, that $20 million would have served them better as a stimulus check to young men specifically. And you probably would have won us over with that, to be honest.
Just holing up in luxury hotel rooms, brainstorming how to convince working class men to return to the party. Ah yes, nothing more relatable to working class men than luxury hotel rooms.
Of course. Yes. Super relatable. By the way, like my mattress is like a hand-me-down mattress. It has a hole in the middle of it. All right. And but they're gonna have me relate to them while they're in luxury hotels with luxurious mattresses, caviar, lobster, and $20 million to spend. Makes perfect sense.
Great job, guys. The plan? Codename Sam, or Speaking with American Men, a strategic plan. Promises to use the funds to study the syntax language
stop, bro. It's so cringe. It's so disgusting. It's cringe, bro. It's so cringe. It's disgusting.
Content that gains attention and virality in these spaces. The effort also recommends Democrats buy advertisement in video games, among other things.
That might be the only thing that they said that makes sense. Because obviously a majority of men play video games. Either way, I mean, I don't know if it's going to do them any good, to be honest, but, it is what it is.
The Democratic Party is treating young men like exotic animals they're studying.
Exactly. That's exactly that. I can't even use another word for that. Of course, we're monkeys in a cage. Like, oh my god, look at him. What about if we give him an iPhone? Like what?
Now, as you can see here, is the young men in.
Dang, why they do my boy Asmon like that? Yo, why they do Asmon like that, bruh? Come on, bro. Come
his
on.
natural habitat, in a dark, messy cave surrounded by Taco Bell wrappers and empty Mountain Dew bottles. Here is another young
This is honestly how they do it. 110%, right? This is exactly what the Democratic Party does in their luxury hotels, for sure. For sure.
man, as you can see, also dwelling in a dark cave. This one has dyed his hair blue to scare off potential predators. Unfortunately, it also scares off potential mates. But moving on, here is another young man. We think we're not quite sure about this one. We're still studying it. Listen.
Dude, that's literally how they do it. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody has like a video of them doing that, because 100% the Democratic Party does that. 100%.
Democrats, instead of spending $20 million to do that stupid, maybe you should, I don't know, actually listen to men. I listen to men for free all the time. All I have to do is read my comment section. Let's see here. Shoeonhead is a perfect example of why we need to repeal the 19th. Greetings from Albania. I hate women so much it's unreal. Ooh, shoo, mommy, milkies, 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 mommy, mommy, mommy. One time I got my penis stuck in a soda bottle. Okay, on second thought, maybe my comment section is not the best
We didn't send our best on that one, guys. We didn't send our best.
source.
Since Trump scored big with young male voters last election, Democrats are spending $20 million to learn how to speak their...
I hate this woman. I don't know her name. I don't know her, but I hate this woman already. By the way, I don't know. It's her voice. It's her voice. Her voice is pissing me off. Her look is pissing me off. She looks like a Karen. She's part of The View, apparently, and all I hear about The View is it's a bunch of Karens. So 100% automatically hate this woman, like straight off the rip. No, I don't need to know her at all. Don't need to watch her. I hate her.
language. I think it's a waste of money. Maybe these guys should spend their money on teaching men to not be such sexists. Maybe.
Bro, this isn't 19 freaking 25, brother. That shit has ended, brother. Like, I'm married, okay? I'm married, all right? And I personally do not think I treat my wife like a trad wife in a misogynistic, sexist way, right? Like, but we know people who are in relationships that treat their significant others like that. And I know for a fact most men in my generation just don't treat women like that. We're kind of over that, you know? It's not 1925. She has a chip on her shoulder ever since she was born, which is probably back, I don't know, in the freaking somewhere between 240 and 140 or 140 and 240 BC. So, of course, she sees things this way. It's crazy how she even has a platform to spew this like misinformation. It's insane.
But the stats don't bear that out now.
Facts.
Look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men. There are a lot of young women out there that want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to have stable families. But there are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash.
Oh no. The very night
I'm not even surprised that Is this going to get me in trouble? I'm going to say it anyway. I'm not surprised that a dumb blonde with pretty privilege is talking shit like that. At all. I'm not surprised about it at all. Pretty privilege goes a long way. And it's easy to say that when you're making $170K, $240K, $340K a year just for looking pretty sitting on TV talking shit. It's crazy. It's crazy how that works.
I was sitting on my couch writing the script to my video about how the Democrats are spending $20 million to relate to young men. This came on my TV on Fox News. A Tommy Lahren and Laura Ingraham segment about stay-at-home sons, men who still live at home. Literally minutes after this aired, it went absolutely viral on Twitter for not good reasons. So we are going to unpack this piece by piece. Because even though everyone was mocking it and making fun of it, as far as I saw, nobody was really dissecting it and breaking down exactly why she was so egregiously wrong. So come join me in debunking the male loser epidemic. Because who else better equipped to talk about men's issues than two stupid blonde bimbos?
Exactly what I said.
Hold on one second. 3 stupid blonde bimbos.
That's some
Sorry.
crazy editing. I'm not going to cap.
I felt left out. All right, let's go. Wait. I need my gamer fuel.
W white monster, bruh. Yo, you all know how it is. The white monster is the goated monster. That's the OG, the white sugar-free monster, bruh. You can't go wrong. Anytime you have it, you can't go wrong.
See, I do drink it. That one.
I've been told I have to lay off on my Monsters, so you know I've been trying, guys. It's hard.
It's for you, Tectone.
It's a major
Tectone.
problem. And you know, Speaker Johnson has been talking about those maybe deadbeat folks that are on Medicaid, and maybe some of those folks are the stay-at-home sons. We don't know. But I'll tell you this, leave it to Gen Z to rebrand laziness and social awkwardness as something cutesy, like a stay-at-home son. But Laura,
Pause. I know a millennial is not talking about laziness. Last time I checked, anytime there's like some kind of revolt or anytime there's some kind of meetup, they're like, where's Gen Z? You know what Gen Z does? They send a video while they're on break because they're working, because they don't have the luxury of being lazy and going out to the streets and revolting and talking shit. So literally, it's actually crazy that a millennial is saying that about Gen Z. I would argue Gen Z works harder than any other generation except maybe baby boomers, because they had a lot of hard labor. But other than that, bro, I'm not taking shit from another single generation. And baby boomers are barely passing for me. Because honestly, at least they got 2 days off a week or 3 days off a week and could survive off of one salary. So I don't even want to hear it. That's crazy.
I got to tell you, this is also a big problem when it comes to, I think, declining birth rates, people not getting married and having children. You know, that's a big problem. They blame it on women. Well, look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men. There are a lot of young women out there that want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to have stable families. But there are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash. And that's why we have declining birth rates and a lot of other problems in society. It's time to go out, get a job, breathe the fresh air, meet people in real life. Let's just get back to basics.
I love how that whole thing, she doesn't say a single thing, doesn't pull up a single stat at all to prove her point. I love how she could just spew that bullshit and not even have to spew a single fact to back up all of her bullshit. It's amazing how that works. Like I said, pretty privilege gets you very far in life. So, honestly, it's crazy because I'm a Gen Z male. I'm 24. And I had to apply to over 300 plus jobs, not kidding, 400 plus, maybe even 1,000 plus at this point. I don't even know. On Indeed, you all know how it goes. Indeed, Handshake, Monster, freaking Get a Job 123. I don't know, everywhere. I've applied everywhere at every single spot, and I've tried my hardest to acquire a job. And I finally this year was able to acquire a good job in my field. But man, did that take a long time. You know who I was speaking to throughout the time? Men who were either gay, either trans, who were even females who were looking in the same spot, and they were able to get a job within 3 to 6 months, which is still a long time. But shit, compared to me, crazy. And same qualifications, same certifications. And how can I tell you that with absolute fact? Because we're in the same college classes. Like, what? Literally, like, it doesn't make any sense. So for her to say that men are just lazy, men are just in their basements playing video games, you know what? Some men honestly did give up. Of course they gave up, because hard work doesn't get you anywhere nowadays. Everybody knows that. You can bust your ass. You can work hard all you want. You can work a freaking manual labor job and work 12-hour shifts. It doesn't get you anywhere nowadays. Things are too high priced. You can't afford to live on your own. You have to kind of live with your mom because you can't live anywhere else because everything's too expensive. Like, and you can't get a better job because, well, you can't get a better job if you're a straight male. But that's besides the point. It's like, it's insane how she could just spew that misinformation with no facts backing her up whatsoever.
First of all, this stay-at-home son thing is not a real thing. It was a random throwaway, self-deprecating joke some contestant on Jeopardy said. One f***ing guy. Because I guess there's nothing else important going on that they could cover on the news. They literally made this into a fake phenomena so they can on young men. Meanwhile, Democrats are spending millions of dollars trying to win back young men. Oh no, the young men are leaving us in droves. How do we get them back? Don't worry, I got this. Hey, you fat, lazy, Cheeto dust-covered slobs, you. Nice.
Accurate demonstration of what a Democrat looks like right there. Purple hair, piercing, perfect. Accurate.
Thanks. I love you. I love you too.
Oh, hell no. Yo, that's crazy.
Is the amount of young men living home with their parents increasing? Yes. Is it
course.
because they're lazy bums and just want to order DoorDash all day? No. And also, they're not paying for DoorDash, Tommy. They're financing it. Come on.
Yeah, get your facts straight. The fuck? We have good credit. Tell you that much. We got credit, Brett. We got credit. And we pay that shit off with our mama's credit card.
Get with the times.
There are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash. And that's why we have declining birth rates. It's time to go out, get a job, breathe the fresh air.
Have either of you tried applying for a job as a young man recently? Or
You don't gotta tell me.
tried buying a house on the salary of one of these young men? Have you experienced the dating market, been on the dating sites as a young man? No? Interesting, okay. Just wondering. Listen, I know the average age of a Fox News viewer is like 70 nowadays and you need to pander to them, but Tommy, you are like 2 years younger than me. You know this shit isn't true. Why are you talking like this? Why are you talking like a fucking boomer? I'm sorry, I have no other word for this, but I hate this like generational pick-me shit. I was born in the wrong generation. I'm not like those other young people. And you know what? She's not like those other young people. Not all young people can afford a nice nose job and lip filler and get a cushy job on Fox News based entirely on merit, I'm sure. The main...
Hey, I didn't have to say it. I didn't have to say it. You see, another woman was able to spot everything that was going on over there because it was obvious. And I'm not going to lie. I think Fox News has a thing for blonde girls, bro. I really do. Every girl on Fox is blonde. I swear. It's like maybe 2 or 3 that are not, but most of the main girls on Fox News are all blondes. I'm just saying.
problem with this brain-dead boomer-ass take is not only is it cringe, but it's completely divorced from reality. This slop is specifically designed for people who paid like $5 for a fucking house. And listen, not all boomers, okay? My parents are boomers, they are lovely people. A lot of you guys are boomers, but when the baby boomer generation sends its people, it is not sending their best. They are not sending you. They're sending people who have lots of problems. They're bringing the housing crisis. They're bringing wage stagnation. They're falling for AI-generated photos on Facebook. But some, I assume, are good people. But my God, I truly believe they do not understand how good they had it. They could support a family on a single income. A single income from a job that didn't require a college degree. Their leaders didn't prostitute away their economic future for some cheap plastic shit from China. They inherited the greatest economy known to man, and they pretend it's a paradise that they earned. I just don't understand, like, why don't boomers and spiritual boomers like Tommy Lauren see people struggling and go, wow, I wish I could fix this. They should have it better than I had it. And you wonder why so many millennials and Zoomers don't want kids.
No, yeah, because they look at it easily like this. Oh, well, those kids, they don't work hard. That's why, of course. Of course they're living in their mom's basement at 18 years old. Right, Bobby? You remember when we were their age, we were over here selling milk. And our bicycles. Oh, man, good times, good times. And then we went down to the McDonald's and we got ourselves a burger for at least like 9 cents. And that was a pretty penny back then. Like, bro, it's crazy how these guys, like, I guarantee, like, every time I read something from a boomer's, like, perspective, I instantly just shut it down. Because it's always talking shit. It's always saying how we don't work hard and blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, you just had a lucky spawn, brother. Like, yeah. Times are, war and all that sucks, but you still had a lucky time, man. It's hard to tell you. The market wasn't crazy. An average home was like, what, 40 grand, 80 grand compared to, dude, do you know how much, bro, the market went up like 30x. Like, a home that a baby boomer could have bought 40 years ago is like, what, worth 400K now, and they bought it for 20K and 2 cows? Like, come on, bro. What?
I want to make the world a better place for my children. I want to make the world a better place for my children. Ugh. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you spoiled brat.
True.
Children. Not happening.
Exactly. And you want to know something about that? Honestly, that I was watching the movie Lucy, I think it's the name, Lucy. And in the movie, Morgan Freeman, the actor, had said something in the movie that I always kind of like remembered. And he said that most primates or most animals will not have the desire to continue their legacy, right? Or have kids pretty much in a non-safe environment. They want to be secure to be able to have a safe environment for that child to be born, right? Whether it's a freaking shark, whether it's a moose, whether it's a person. We all want to make sure we're safe and that the environment is safe for us to bring a child into that environment. Now, if you're not financially secure, why would you ever bring a child into this world? Ever. Oh, because I'm told to? No, I'm never going to put a child through that. Hell no. I went through that. It sucked a lot. So I would never put a child through a financial, like, pretty much solitude, to not be able to do things, to not be able to get things, to miss food sometimes, just because I'm told to have kids because the birth rate is declining. You want me to have kids? Maybe fix the country. Maybe fix the housing. Maybe fix jobs, salary, everything. Fix everything that you need to fix. Make it go back to baby boomer times. And then we'll start producing kids. But until then, nobody's going to have a child. Nobody. Because nobody wants to put their child through poverty.
Well, look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men.
Young men are becoming lazy because they're becoming feminized. So they're becoming lazy because they act more like women? What did she mean by this, chat? I know there's like a decrease in testosterone or something happening, but men are moving right-wing all over the world. Does that correlate with the feminization? Or, I mean, there are suspiciously a lot of far-right femboys, so maybe. But here's the thing, Tammy. There is absolutely no evidence that young women want to start families more than young men. None. In fact, all the data says the exact opposite. According to Pew Research, 64% of women younger than 50 say they just don't want to have children. No reason, they just don't want them. Versus 50% of men who say the same. Another study by Archbridge Institute shows the same. 63% of women without children said they have no desire to have a child, while only 50% of men said the same. For men, the most commonly cited factor was personal finance, but among...
Of course, because you know what men's traditional role is usually? To provide. And if we can't provide, a lot of men lose purpose right away. They don't know what else they could do. Because if you can't provide, what else can you really give to a woman? Oh, emotional support? God forbid. We weren't raised to have emotions. Most men were pretty much frowned upon for having emotions. So most of us grew up in a gen where you really couldn't cry. If you cried, why are you crying? You're a man. You don't cry. And we couldn't show our emotions. We don't know how to be emotionally pretty much desirable for women. If a woman is going through a tough time, most men think logically. They don't think with emotion. So it's hard for them to relate. So it's hard for them to be able to even provide that part of things. And of course, you know, you have guys that are like, oh, well, real men are able to separate emotion and blah, 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 blah. Of course they are. But I am saying that we grew up in a generation where men were frowned upon for showing emotion, right? So we became hardened, tough skin, right? Tough guy act, right? Anything that happened to us, we just keep it internally. We don't voice our opinions and our sadness and our emotions, or we voice our opinions, but we don't voice our emotions, right? So if we can't even deal with our own emotions, how can we deal with somebody else's emotion, right? And financially, if we can't provide for a woman, if we can't give her emotional support, then of course women do not want to date you. Women don't want to be with you because they don't need you, right?
Women, the strongest reason not to have a child was their desire to maintain their personal independence. Basically, they don't want to give up their brunch and mimosas. They've been ass blasted with propaganda their whole lives, telling them their lives will be ruined, their bodies will be ruined, they'll never have fun again, they'll be miserable forever if they have children. And as someone who has had a children, best decision I've ever made. 10/10, highly recommend, would do it again. But yes, this idea that men are the ones primarily responsible for the low birth rates is laughable. We're laughing over here. But honestly, it's not really women or men's fault.
True. I was going to say, it's not it's not women's fault and it's not men's fault. Because women were raised to be girl bosses, pretty much. And men were raised to be able to provide for a woman. And unfortunately, the girl bosses took over. And what I mean, unfortunately, I mean like traditionally, men are supposed to be the providers, but now women make more than men. They make more money than men. They go to school. They have more degrees than men. They learn more, right? Men don't have anywhere to go. They go to trades. Yeah, some of them get a lot of money in their trade. Great. But you have a girl who went to a 4-year college, has a business administration, whatever, works at HR, and is making, what, $90K a year by herself. She can afford a pretty good life with that just by herself. And then you have a guy who went to the plumbing unit. He makes $60K, $70K a year. He's still making less than her, right? And thus, we lose our purpose of providing.
There are a lot of factors that play into this. But Tommy, I really gotta ask, is it men or is it you?
This is gonna be the summer of canceling boys. All of my
That's the same girl. That's how she opened her little short video. That's insane.
friends are attractive. All of my friends are successful. All of my friends have something going on. Almost every single one of them have an issue with men. But if all of these women, including myself, are having issues, then I have to think it might not be us. It might be you. It is not just the guys in Los Angeles, Nashville, Dallas, and they're not any better in the Midwest. Quite frankly, I think they're trash all over this country.
My friends are successful. Men don't give a shit about that. They'd marry a Walmart cashier if she was nice to them.
I think men
True.
between the ages of 20 and 30 are not ready, in most cases, for marriage, are usually not ready to be husbands and fathers.
That's a cultural issue. So,
I agree. It is a cultural issue.
look,
No, I would actually, back to your point,
Yeah.
I think it's a biological thing.
See, that's what I don't agree with. The biological part, obviously not. But the cultural part, I can agree with.
Let me get this straight. Men are all trash and won't commit and won't leave mommy's basement, and they're destroying the birth rates. But also, young men are biologically incapable of commitment and being parents. What? But wait, there's more. She also believes women don't have to bring anything to the table.
And as a woman, I want a strong man who is a protector and a provider that will go to war if need be, that will protect me, protect my family, make money. But I don't think a man needs to get something out of it to be a manly man, a protector and a provider.
Of course he needs to get something out of it. What? What? That doesn't make any sense. It goes both ways, girly. I don't know if you know that. I don't know what type of household you grew up in, but it goes both ways, dude. If a guy's hitting everything he's supposed to do, providing, being a manly man, working out to stay in shape in case of anything, goes to war if there's a war, comes back from the war, whatever. Guys do manly man things, does the stuff around the house, freaking carpentry, plumber, whatever. And he's not getting anything from you? What? How does that make sense? Oh, she won't cook for him. God forbid you tell her to just clean some of the dishes. Oh, but then we're being sexist and traditional. Isn't it being sexist what she's saying, that we have to be the providers and we have to protect and we have to go to war, blah, blah, blah? It's literally crazy the hypocrisy that comes out of these women's mouths.
If you think you need to get something out of it, I quite frankly don't consider you a real man.
Never before in history have women demanded so much and offered so little. So before we get deeper into this retarded
But I'm pretty.
manufactured stay-at-home son narrative, let's check the Facebook comments of this Fox News video, because I am really interested to see what, like, the typical Fox News viewer thinks about this. If the women are anything like these two, I can hardly blame the men for staying home and not wanting to date them. Blame, blame, blame.
True.
These two women have a combined age of 93, and they have 0 children between both of them.
And that's fucked up.
You both have repugnant personality types, so listening to this was like male birth control to me. My goodness! Boomers are ruthless. Bunch of sissies. I served 6 years, 2 years in Southeast Asia after Vietnam was over. When I was 18, rent was $450 and I could afford to get my own place.
Yeah. $450, man. Just for rent.
She's so spot on. Nothing screams I'm a loser run from me than a guy living at home in his parents' house with his 12-year-old boy's bedroom decor at age of 30. Thank God we raised our sons to be men, who grew up, lived on their own, found their soulmate, got married, bought a beautiful home, and started a family. I was out the door at 18, worked on the assembly line at Dodge, and in the Air Force at 19. Never went back home.
Yeah, buddy. I don't know if you know, buddy. I don't know if you know. The assembly line doesn't exist anymore. Not in America. We shipped that shit to Mexico. Yeah, didn't know if you knew that one. That shit don't fly over here, buddy. Detroit just got back some of their factories, actually, thanks to Donald Trump. But that shit basically got taken out of America. Manufacturing jobs? Are you kidding? Lamau? Hilarious.
Can't relate to this. Yes, we know you people can't relate. We know. But the world has changed. Why can't you people get this through your heads? I will never let my sons stay home. I'm trying to push them out of the nest. Okay, I really gotta ask, is this an Anglo thing? Immediately kicking your kid out when they turn 18 years old? My Mediterranean mind cannot comprehend this. And honestly, why the f*** would a man leave home, leave his mother's cooking for a woman who probably can't cook?
On God. On God, bro. Why would a man leave his house where his mama cooks some good ass food to go be with a girl who can't cook? Who can't even cook a freaking piece of toast the right way? Like, what? Come on, man.
Not me, though. Personally, I can cook amazing homemade meals. I'll have you know I am a great trad wife.
Hell yeah. You know what? I'm behind this. Hell yeah. Dino Nuggets is all we need, to be honest. All right. The microwave was diabolical, bro. We got air fryers now. Come on, Shoe. Dang. Nah, this is a banger meal, though. This is a banger meal. And the relatable part here was the ketchup, bruh. The little at the end. Hell yeah.
Bone apple teeth.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
unfortunately, Tommy Lauren wasn't the only
Monster.
one pushing this stupid lazy young men go get a job bullshit. Mike Johnson did it referencing 29-year-old men playing video games all day. Steve Scalise did it with 35-year-old men playing video games all day. And just the other night, I saw this on my TV. Again.
A Wall Street Journal headline got our attention. The new dream job for young men, stay-at-home son. It's a phrase that's taken off since 27-year-old Brendan Leo won $59,000 on Jeopardy. And he has a master's degree in political science, but he's unemployed. Grow up, get a job, get a wife, build a family.
Sure. You're going to give me the job, and then you're going to give me the financial security in that job. Are you going to give me the benefits to be able to raise a family? Oh, yeah, wait. I didn't think so. I didn't think so at all. Oh, but I worked hard. I went to the blah, 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 blah. You didn't do shit, bro. You were spawned in at the right time. Shut your ass up. You were literally birthed at the perfect time, and you're taking advantage of it. And now, because you're all up top, it's easy to talk shit when you're at the top. Right?
A wife, bro. Just get a job, bro.
Oh, get a job? Yeah. Just get a job? Why don't I strap on my job helmet and squeeze down into a job cannon and fire off into jobland where jobs grow on jobbies?
The term welfare queen must have fell out of fashion with Republicans because it seems even they know the approved safe demographic to go after now. Because it's very obvious what demographic they are talking about when they say young men in their basements playing video games. This just get a job lazy attitude is not surprising, but it's especially funny coming from Fox News of all places. Fox News that spends so much time yapping about immigrants taking American jobs. Fox News will talk for
Literally. They literally do, and they do that specifically for men. Because immigrants take what type of jobs? Hard labor, right? Construction, really shitty jobs. They pay good if the employer knows you're legal and they have to pay you a legal wage, right? Compared to a poor immigrant who gets abused, okay? Who gets abused, paid horribly, forced to work huge hours because they're illegal and they can be taken advantage of. Compared to young men who cannot be taken advantage of, especially if they're obviously citizens of the United States. And these companies will then be forced to pay a legal wage and treat them like humans. So, of course.
For years about how Americans are being screwed out of the workforce.
And they only do that, again, to pin immigrants against young men. So young men have something to be angry at, have somebody else to be angry at, target their anger at immigrants. When they really should be targeting their anger at the CEOs and at these media companies, truthfully. Like, it's obvious. It's very obvious.
But when this issue manifests itself in Gen Z, suddenly it's a moral failure. The fact is, a lot of American jobs held by men are being lost to automation, offshoring, and yes, cheap foreign labor. Companies and billionaires would rather have cheap labor that they can essentially abuse, not pay fair wages to, just good little worker drones who won't unionize, rather than hire American workers for a living wage.
Very true. Exactly what I'm saying. Like, the young men, the whole thing where immigrants are taking your jobs. No, they're obviously working, yeah, but you want us to target our anger at immigrants rather than the job CEO or the company CEOs, the government for allowing the CEOs to do such things, and these media outlets. You know why? Because what they're really scared of is young men. Because young men who have nothing to lose, who constantly get shit talked to, are probably one of the most dangerous things you can ever have roaming around in your country. because we're the ones that are capable of actually doing a lot of bad, obviously. Men react angrily to things, right? So of course, they want us to target our anger towards immigrants, not the CEOs, not the media companies, because they're afraid of what young men are actually capable of, because they know damn well what happens when young men get angry and they all get together. They know what happens.
The cheaper the labor they hire, the more money they make. I remember when Bernie Sanders called open borders a Koch brothers conspiracy.
Open borders?
Open borders.
That's a Koch brothers proposal, which says essentially there is no United States.
But it
Anybody
would make a lot of global poor richer, wouldn't it?
And it'd make everybody in America poor. Then you're doing away with the concept of a nation state.
Where'd that guy go? A lot of these jobs being taken are jobs traditionally held by men, like construction and factory jobs, manual labor work. But it's not just manual labor jobs, it's also the tech industry and business industry, which are careers also mainly held by men. There are many, many examples of this, such as Microsoft recently cutting thousands of American workers while requesting 14,000 more H-1B workers this year. Some of those job positions include data scientists, which are 70% men, software developers, which are 80% men, and electronic engineers, which are 90% men, and many more like that. Another example of this was Tesla, where roughly 15,000 American employees were fired in April 2024, and many were replaced with H-1B visa holders. On Twitter, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy tried to chalk this up to these immigrants just simply being the best and the brightest. Yeah, okay. You're paying them less for longer hours and more work, and they're willing to deal with it in order to stay in the country. It's coercive, exploitative, and, dare I say, not very America first. When conservatives confronted Elon Musk for this last year, he told somebody, and I quote, "Take a big step back and yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend." So when it comes to replacing American workers in manual labor with cheap foreign labor, it's deport, deport, deport. But when it comes to replacing his American workers with cheap foreign labor, it's yourself in the face. Interesting. Yeah. There's also affirmative action and DEI, which are other things Fox News always pisses and shits about. But suddenly, when the conversation is about Gen Z men, the demographic of people who are victims of these things, suddenly these things just like don't exist anymore. Then it's, oh, young men are all just lazy. They just want to be in their parents' basement ordering DoorDash and playing video games. But it's not just the brown people taking your jobs. I am not beating the allegations with this one. The brown people are not taking your jobs, okay? It's not their fault. They're just cheaper. Aim upwards. But it's not just the brown people taking your jobs. It's the women, too. Many of the dying industries are male-dominated, while many of the growing industries are female-dominated. And stigma around these jobs being woman jobs usually stops men from working them. Women are overwhelmingly entering and excelling in college and the workforce.
I have been offered like a secretary job, right? And I'm not gonna lie, what went through my head was, what? I can't do that. Like, what? That's not a job I can work. I'm a man. I can't be doing that type of stuff. And it's not because of like, oh, it's because of like it's traditionally held by women. No, it's because I just don't feel like I would be doing anything, right? I feel like, oh, I'm sorting papers and blah, 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 because I'm working with my brain. And most men are programmed to work with their arms, right? Because biologically, that's what we did, right? We built homes, we hunted, whatever. We worked with our bodies, our arms, our strength. But now you have to shift to working with your brains, and women always worked with their brains. That's the reason why women tend to actually complete college and get college degrees and blah, 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 and be able to sit in a classroom, unlike men who, most men drop out of college, most men can't stay in school because of this, right? So
they're more flexible about job position and pay, while young men usually hold out for higher paying, higher position jobs that will make them the breadwinner. Because you see, despite the world progressing and the role of women changing, the role of men has not changed. Every woman is a feminist until the dinner bill comes. But what's crazy is, women might be the ones paying that dinner bill soon. A study from the UK found women aged 22 to 29 earned about $1,000 more annually than men, completely reversing the traditional gender pay gap for this age group. In the US, a 2022 Pew Research Center analysis showed that women under 30 out-earned men in many metropolitan areas, with median earnings at or above 100% of men's in cities like New York and Washington, D.C. That may not sound like a lot of money now, but it's a growing trend that has never been seen before. It's so bad that it's really starting to affect the dating world. American women have never been this resigned to staying single. They are responding to major demographic shifts, including huge and growing gender gaps in economic and educational attainment, political affiliation, and beliefs about what family should look like. More women than men are attending college, buying houses, and focusing on their friendships and careers over dating and marriage. The challenges of finding a romantic partner have been made more complicated by a growing divide in education and career prospects between men and women. In 2024, 40% of American women ages 25 to 34 had a bachelor's degree, according to Pew, compared to 37% of men. A bachelor's degree increases net lifetime earnings by an estimated $1 million. Women are doing comparatively well when it comes to education in their early years in the labor force, and men are doing comparatively badly. Men's economic struggles seem to be having the biggest effect on women without a college degree, whose marriage rates by 45 have plummeted to 52% for those born between 1930 and 1980, according to research by Cornell University. Young men without a degree are struggling so much as a group that there simply aren't enough with steady jobs and earnings for non-college women to date.
Exactly. And this obviously goes back to how I was saying before. If women are out earning men, right? Women don't see any other value within men, right? And it's not money. It's not like all women only want money, blah, blah, blah. It's just the provider role, right? Like men's role is to be able to provide, protect, whatever, right? That's what we do. That's what men are supposed to do. But once you can't do that, once you take something away from a man, like providing, what happens is most men lose purpose, right? Most men don't know what to do anymore, right? Because you can't provide. So, and then look at it from a female's eyes. You can't provide. Why do they need you? You know, I'm making way more money than you. You can't emotionally support me either. So why do I need you, right? And they go looking for a man who it might be twice their age, it might be 7 times their age, whatever. And that man has what they are looking for, right? Money, could probably emotionally support them, etc. And it leaves men, like the bottom, or pretty much in 90% of men, out of the dating pool, right? Out of the dating market.
Men are poor, women most affected. Modern women are no longer tied to their gender role. Birth control has freed them from the prison that is their biology, and they are making their own money. More than men. They can have it all. They can do anything. They can be anything. While at the same time, men are still expected to be the provider. And more importantly, many men still want to be the provider, but they can't. And women, though strong and independent, still want men to be the provider.
And as a woman, I want a strong man who is a protector and a provider that will go to war if need be, that will protect me, protect my family, make money.
Basically, men are like, we're worried we're not making enough money. And women are like, we're worried men are not making enough money. Hello class, I am Miss Shoeonhead. I am substituting for your teacher today. She was arrested for molesting a 12-year-old boy. So today we are learning about the graph.
That's a common trend, by the way. I don't know if you guys know that, if you guys pay attention to X, but you see it a lot.
This is the growth in productivity versus hourly compensation graph. And you can trace almost everything bad happening in society back to this graph. As you can see, productivity increased while compensation barely grew over the same time period. Notice they tracked very closely up until around 1972. Now, what happened around 1972, class? Well, the top marginal tax rate was reduced from 70% in 1964 to 50% by 1981. The federal minimum wage began to stagnate. Income going to the 1% rose from 9% in the 60s to 16% in 2023. CEOs also went from making 20 times more than the average worker to making 350 times more than the average worker. Anything else? Anything else happen around 1972? Yes, Jimmy, that is correct. Women joined the workforce around this time, but we don't have to get into that today. The fact is, hard work no longer guarantees success.
Bro, it's so true, brother. It's so true. It's so freaking true, man. It's so sad and so true, man. I grew up being told that if you work hard and you work hard, you work long hours, you don't give up, you stay freaking firm, you stay sturdy, tunnel vision, you're gonna get to where you need to get to. And I'm sure that most people or some people have success stories like that, but man, it's just not true anymore. It's just not true anymore. How many times do I see kids that aren't working hard at all making more money than I'm making, right? How many times you see women who are just able to sell a piece of their booty hole online and make more money than you're making? Is that working hard? No, it's not. It's ridiculous.
And the will to work is tied to the fruits of your labor. And young men are fed up today because 90% of that fruit is rotten. Now, is there some truth to modern young people being lazy? Sure, I guess. Every generation had lazy people. And we do basically live in late-stage mouse utopia, after all. Young people today are faced with two options: revolution or escapism. And a lot of them are choosing escapism. Many have basically given up, but it's not like they didn't try. They tried, and they found out the juice just isn't worth the squeeze, whether it's college, dating, or the job market. And in a way, many young men are kind of choosing revolution. The never-before-seen large shift rightward in young men is a small revolution in a way. They're saying, this isn't working for me, this sucks, I hate this, I want something different. This is also manifesting on the Democrat side in general. The young men that are still voting left are voting further left. You saw this recently in New York City, where Zohran Mamdani, a self-proclaimed Democratic socialist, won the Democratic primary. Young men are tired of the establishment, left and right. They're tired of the system, and they want to burn it down and start again. They want something that works for them, because this is not working for them.
If you wake up one morning and you find yourself in a society where 23-year-olds with four-year college degrees and like initiative who aren't smoking weed every day, if they can't make enough to buy a car, much less a home, much less get married, much less have children, then why should you be surprised when half of them say they prefer socialism?
That's extremely true. I couldn't agree more. Like, you can't tell me my whole life this is what you shouldn't do and this is what you should do, and I do everything to the T that you wanted me to do. You know, stay sturdy, work hard, get a college degree, stay out of parties, stay out of smoking, stay out of drugs, all that crap, and I do everything to the T. And then when I finally enter the workforce, I can't get a job for a year plus. And when I do get a job, I'm making shit money. And then you expect me to be happy with that after you told me my whole life what I had to do and I did it all and now I'm screwed over? Still? Hell no. And that's where you get young, angry men.
Huh. Fox News should hire that guy. There is an entire generation of fighting-aged men who are enraged and feel like they have nothing to live for.
Pay attention to the vocabulary. Fighting-aged men who have nothing to live for. And that's what they're scared of. That's what they're truly, truly, truly scared of.
You should probably start caring. When they saw this airing on Fox News, they saw an angry woman nagging in their faces about how everything wrong in the world is their fault. An all too familiar thing they have been hearing for far too long. But unfortunately for Democrats, nobody under the age of 60 watches Fox News, so this is not really going to have an effect on young men whatsoever. So keep that $20 million. You might still need it, unless we get dragged into another war in the Middle East. If we do get dragged into another war in the Middle East, young men might come running back to the Democratic Party. Maybe not even a George Bush II electric boogaloo will have men coming back to the Democratic Party. Hopefully we don't find out. And as I'm editing this right now, a lot of young people, even the podcast bros, seem pretty upset about the Epstein thing, but we know Democrats won't take advantage of the situation in order to protect the Clintons, so maybe not even this will save them, but we'll see, I guess. Hold on one second. That's better. So that was that video. What do you think of the male loser epidemic? Do you agree with Tommy Lauren? Is it all men's fault? Leave your comments below. I read them all. I am probably reading them right now as you type them. Wait, don't write that. No. You can't say that. No, it doesn't matter if it's with an A. If you like this video, please subscribe, and if you can, donate to me on Patreon or leave a little tip with a little tip jar down below. Or give it a little heart. It helps the channel, and I appreciate it so much. And I will see you guys again soon with a new video, a new slop video, because I know you gremlins love that shit. Bye!
Great video. Amazing video. All right, guys. Well, that was today's video. That was, again, Shoeonhead's The Male Loser Epidemic. Please make sure to go subscribe to her. She'll be the top link in the description below. Give a like, drop a like, give her a donation, go to that Patreon, support her in every way you can, man. She's the only one fighting for us, put it that way. So she's a great creator. I love Shoeonhead's videos. They're amazing. So again, make sure to go like, comment, subscribe, give her a follow, donation, all that good stuff. First link in the description. And for me, if you guys like the reaction here, make sure to give me a like, comment, and subscribe. Turn the notification bell on, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, make sure to leave a comment down there. Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.